Okay, I got a download in the middle of the night and I should have recorded it then. However, it was kind of, I awoke and it became aware in my consciousness, so I'm just going to try and remember what it was now. So I woke up and I felt like I was being told that the twin flame experience sort of being shown again, the yin and the yang sign. The yin and the yang sign meaning the opposites and that the duality and the polarity and the as above so below experience of the whole thing. So and it's all about kind of that, but in a more tripped out way in terms of being able to understand it in your mind. So it's almost like we have to go to the extreme opposite of all that we've ever known in order to come into union. That was kind of, so it's kind of coming at it from the opposite. So in terms of, like, that would be in any relationship. So in any relationship, you're going to, what we've done before, we pretty much do the opposite. And some people will ask, well, why do, when twin flames first meet, have such an attraction, and in many cases they get magnetised together and they have this amazing, often sexual experience, which seems to be what is kind of what happens in many normal, usual, the way that relationships go. However, what most twin flames will find is that doesn't last immediately, and there's a separation phase. And when that separation phase occurs, the way in which we come back into union is, again, not from the physical. It's the opposite way. It's coming, if we see it vertically, and let's say that the spiritual is in a linear fashion up higher, and then the physical comes down into physical reality. We need to start obviously from the spiritual realms and work our way down into the physical. So in terms of how relationships have generally started in what we've been used to, is that that is usually the opposite. So they'll start in the physical and then they'll eventually work their way through into a deeper level and work through the mental, emotional and spiritual layers, eventually maybe becoming, if they're lucky, reaching those levels. So this is the opposite. First of all, we start in the spiritual. We've already reached that level. We need to bring it down into the physical. The other part of relationships that we're coming at from the opposite is the way in which the traditional masculine and feminine or male-female roles have been played. So they're getting switched around pretty much. So we're coming again at it from the opposite, and that's, let's not take that too literally in terms of meaning that, the female has to come along and get down on her knee and be the one that proposes, or take the male out on dates and pay for them. Or it's more of a energetic holding, I guess, is what the message that I'm getting is. So that the female is holding space for the male, holding that protected space in order for them to grow. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. And because we're coming that from more of a spiritual place, that's from where the feminine is holding the space from. So she, generally I'm saying, she has gone to those levels and transversed and gone out, and traditionally the male would have gone ahead of the family and scouted out to see whether it was safe for the family to camp there or whatever. And in this way, the feminine has taken on that role. She has gone ahead up and explored out into the feminine, into the spiritual realms, and is now sitting there going, look, it's fine up here, we're hanging out, I'm holding space for you, come with me, it's going to be good. So yeah, that's that. How else was it shown to me? Yeah, it was just kept getting shown that it was flip. It was a flip. We've got to go come at it from a completely alternative view. We've got to go to the extremes so we can come back to the fullness. So it's an extreme path as well. That's what I get. So we go to the extreme, and the only way we will be enticed to go to the extremes is like the ultimate and carrot for for humans is the feeling of, or the hope of, ever being in the union. Like, that is pretty much, I mean, you could offer someone $1 million and they may not go for it, but you could offer someone the chance of ultimate connection and union with their complete soulmate, and that is what we have been yearning for so long, and now all our thousands of years of separation. And so this appeals to us so deeply on a soul level, that we would be prepared to go through these rigors of the soul growth to achieve that. So, and that's why we get that taste of it right at the beginning, for us to know that. And that's why we get the signs. That's why the soul has a way of reminding us of what we have come here to do. And we're getting, what I get told is, we can't see the full picture now. Maybe because if we did, we might not do it. But we're only getting installments via certain channels, because we need those too. We need the little updates and the little milestones and the encouragements from each other along the way. It kind of feels like we're kind of on an orienteering mission, and we've got the map, but Spirit's already laid out the map for us, but we're only just getting little clues along the way of where we have to go and how we have to do it, and they just get given to us at each juncture that we come to, at each particular landmark along the way that we reach. So and certain teams are out there, and they're sort of but certain teams are also have different territory to cover, I'm getting. So it's not that certain teams are leading the way, it's just that some teams go into other territory and learn that particular aspect of the journey, and then they can give others the information. And yes, we are definitely leading the way. We are in this place because we have awakened, because we are in tune with our spiritual guidance, our intuition. We just know, we've got the knowing within us, and we have the way and ability to communicate with Spirit and with our higher selves, to trust the messages that we receive and to follow through. So, the following through, we should already be really working through and moving past some of those layers of our childhood pains and hurts around abandonment, around attachment. We should be getting, I don't want to use the word should, because I kind of don't like using that word, but we if we choose to complete this mission, we really, those are the layers that we really have. They're we need to pass through those layers before we can move ahead, basically. So that's your personal choice there, in terms of being able to also, you wouldn't have got this far, really, if you weren't able to be independent in your life without your twin. So that is a key kind of core foundation principle to this mission, that if you really along the way are not always going to be able to have your twin to rely on in the form of which we have been in our previous relationships and our codependent karmic 3D relationships where we have always needed that support, or we've depended upon our partner for whatever. And this, stage one, getting through that gate to the wonderland of the mission is, are you able to do this on your own? Pretty much. You will get little morsels of support and, along the way to keep you going in terms of what your soul needs to remind you, or that you need to enable you to keep on this mission. I heard there's no giving up, because even when you're resting and you're having a rest, and that is part of your ability to love yourself, which again is another one of the core foundation principles of this mission. You're going to get a lot of support. I just feel even those that aren't in union are getting an amazing amount of support from the community of twin flames. So there are a lot out there. We're doing this as a team. It's amazing. I think that's pretty much the message. I'll try and tune into a little bit more about that flip in terms of coming at it from the opposite way in which we've ever known before. That was the essence of that it felt to me a little bit like maths. So, and my brain isn't always great with maths. It's good with feelings. So I feel like it was kind of quite a scientific-y, mathematical, geometrically sort of juxtaposition way of looking at the whole thing. And I'll try and see if I can get any more information on that to make it a little clearer. Okay, wishing you well on your mission.